Starting with problem 24. And this collection of problems are all going to be done on the calculator. The area under the graph of the function over the interval. And the key words here are under the graph. These problems that say under the graph are referring to functions that are above the x-axis on the given interval. And so all you're going to do is calculate the definite integral to find that area. So this is coming from section 4.3. So I'm just going to set these up because you all are going to be using your calculators when you take the test to do this. And the interval shows you the indices. So in this problem, you're going to be integrating from 0 to 2. The farmost on the left, the farthest left number is going to be the bottom number. The farthest right is going to be the top number. And then you integrate your function that's given, 2x minus x squared. And on this interval 0, 2, this function is above the x-axis. So to calculate the area under the curve, you just integrate the definite integral, and then you pick your value that your calculator gives you. And I'm just going to set these up and let you go ahead and use the calculator. You should practice this in the math lab if you don't have your own calculator. All right, now we're going to find the area under the graph for, it's going to go from 1 to 3 of 3 over x cubed dx. So when you put this in, it's going to give you, I forget what the words are on the calculator, but in the parentheses, you're going to start with your function. And so you're going to put that in there, 3 divided by x cubed. Then you're going to have a comma, and you're going to put x. The x shows you that you're going to have a dx there. It doesn't put the d, it just puts x. But that x is this x right here. And then you're going to start with 1, the bottom index, and then you're going to put another comma and put the top index. There are other ways of entering the information in, but this is the classic way. So however, whatever works for you, just you want to practice to make sure you get it right. All right. And by the way, I've included a link to the video that shows you how to do this on your calculator. So this one, the integral is from 0 to 1. And then the function is x squared plus 1 dx. Okay, the next problem here. Integral is from 1 to 4, and the function is 1 over square root of x. Now, in this particular one, the calculator is going to give you a decimal value, and notice the answers all have e in it. You can go ahead and calculate on your calculator what the decimal value is for each answer and then compare it to what you get if you want to do it that way. Or you can just do it manually and just to integrate from -7 to 8 of e to the x dx. Remember exponential functions, when we take the derivative, you just copy what you see and then divide by the derivative of the exponent. Here, the derivative of the exponent is 1, so that's not going to change anything. So basically, this is just going to be e to the x evaluated from -7 to 8. And so plugging in the top, it's e to the 8 minus e to the -7, because you subtract what you get when you plug in the bottom number. And then this is negative, means it's going to be in the denominator. So this is going to be e to the 8 minus 1 over e to the 7. And so B is the correct choice for this one. Okay, in the next problem, we have evaluate the definite integral, and then we have to interpret the result. So you're just going to get your calculator out and notice that the function from -1, so here's -1 and here's 1 from on the x-axis from -1 to 1, the function or the curve is above the x-axis. So your answer that you get for this problem is going to be equal to this shaded area here. And that's the interpretation. The area is equal to the definite integral. Whatever area is, it's going to be, I don't know what number it is. It's not going to be negative. Okay, so A and B or D are out. It's either 2/15 or 4/15, and it's the area bounded by the x-axis and the graph. So that is the interpretation. Now, in this particular example, we're asked to evaluate the definite integral. So you're going to get your calculator out and you're going to do the definite integral. And so one of these choices will be the correct answer. And the thirds is my guess. What the answer is going to be, I'm not sure. But what the interpretation is, the integral is because when you integrate, it takes the area above the x-axis. So that would be this area right here. And that's going to be positive. And then it's going to subtract the area below the x-axis. So it's the integral that the answer that you get here is not the total shaded area. It is the shaded area above the x-axis minus the shaded area below the x-axis. And my guess is it's A is the correct choice is actually what I think. The reason why I say that is because it looks like this area is bigger than this area. And so you're going to get a negative answer. So my guess is that this is the correct answer. But go ahead and use your calculator to do the integral. That's my guess. It looks like this area is bigger. So when you subtract it, you're going to get negative. Okay. And we're supposed to evaluate and interpret. This would be the positive, the area above the x-axis minus the area below. And my guess is it's going to be 2.25 because it looks like the areas are about equal, not a big difference, but this area looks a little bit larger than this area to me. I could be wrong, but there are no negative answers. So I'm guessing 2.25 and B is the correct choice. But just, use your calculator. You'll probably get 2.25. And it's the shaded area above the x-axis minus the shaded area below the x-axis is the interpretation. So it's definitely not C or D because it's not the total shaded area. It's either A or B. Okay. Here, again, use your calculator, evaluate the definite integral. I think it's going to be 0 because these two areas look like they're equal. And this area is above, so it's positive, and this shaded area is below, so it's going to be negative. So you're going to have two identical answers, but they're going to be subtracted. So C is the correct choice. Okay, now on the rest of these are all definite integrals. Here you just use your calculator. And here also, notice the top number is an E. So this one you're going to have to do manually. This is going to be 4 times the integral from 1 to E of 1 over x dx. That is the natural log. So it's 4 times the natural log of the absolute value of x evaluated from 1 to E. And so that's going to be 4 times the natural log of E minus the natural log of 1. And this is going to be 4 times natural log of E is 1, and the natural log of 1 is 0. So your answer is 4 times 1 or 4. C is your correct choice for that one. I have another one of those here. The integral from 1 to E of 12x minus 7 over x dx. So that is going to be 12x squared over 2 minus 7 natural log of x evaluated from 1 to e. So you plug in e, you get 6e squared minus the natural log of e is 1, so it's going to be minus 7. But when you plug in 1, you're going to subtract 6. 12 divided by 2 times 1 squared, that's 6. And now I'm subtracting when I plug in 1, so I'm subtracting this whole thing. But notice when I plug in 1 here, the natural log of 1 is 0. So I'm just going to be subtracting this. And so we get 6e squared minus 13 right here. And here you're going to use your calculator, as well as here you're going to use your calculator. So to practice with the calculator, and I'm going to end the video here and then have a part 3.